Randy BOLOS, Connersville Police Department. Been working here for about 23 years. 26 altogether. I started out in Utah as a sheriff's deputy. Worked there for about 3 years. Ended up here in Indiana. Like I say, been here 23 years. Now I'm currently a captain on day shift. Was a commander of SWAT team for about 5 years. I'm in charge of the police bike patrol currently. My duties as far as SWAT goes is I'm the department sniper. Been doing that for about 15 years. I attended the Carlos Hathcock sniper school in Virginia Beach. The most heart-pounding time that I've been on duty as a police officer has to have been when I first started my career, when I was a sheriff's deputy in Utah. It was southern Utah, and I'm just fresh out of the police academy, never done this line of work before. And down south, we took in a portion of the Navajo reservation. So, you hear all these stories about the Navajo reservation where there was, they would attack other law enforcement that came onto their family's property. On the reservation, families live together from grandparents to great-great-grandkids. They all live on this compound together. So it's almost like a tribe in itself. And I was within my first year, and there was a call about, some rioting, if you will, on this compound. There was a couple male individuals that were intoxicated, and they were burning down their family members' homes and cars, and just raising Cain. So I get called there, and I'm by myself, fresh out of the academy. Nearest backup probably a good hour away. So basically no backup by the time something would actually happen. So I get there, and sure enough, I see houses and cars on fire, and a male subject chasing family members around with an axe, chasing around, swinging the axe. So, I really can't describe what was going through my mind at that point. Ultimately, in this job, you don't want to take a life. And being that fresh, it really worked my mind, and you just don't know how family would react if you actually had to take that avenue and have to ultimately put somebody down. So that ran through my mind. A lot of emotions ran through my mind that night. It was nighttime, no backup around. I ordered him to drop the axe, and the whole time in my mind as he was walking to me was, I might have to take this guy's life. I'm not sure what got me into hunting. I was about 14 or 15 years old, living in Utah, and I had friends and their families that hunted, and I would go out and hunt with them at a week at a time. Out west, it's different kind of hunting. I mean, you actually go out and camp out up in the mountains, and I enjoyed that kind of stuff anyways. Growing up, I've always enjoyed camping and the outdoors, fishing mainly, because nobody else in my family hunts. My father doesn't hunt, and I'm the only boy in the family, so I just kind of picked it up on my own. And it started out west out in Utah, out in the Rockies, hunting big game and small game, rabbits and whatnot. What's my favorite big game animal? That's tricky, because I truly don't have a favorite, but if I was to choose just one, it would probably be waterfowl or turkey or elk. And the reason I say that is because I really enjoy the calling and them calling back. It's probably more exciting to me to be able to go out, certain times of year out west to hunt elk. When they're bugling back, there's nothing that sounds better. And at the same token, there's nothing that sounds better when you're waterfowling or turkey hunting and they answer you back. So I really don't have a favorite. I enjoy hunting all big game. I've been hunting big game all across the United States, from out west to out east. Most exciting hunt I've had, another tough one. I probably don't have one over the other, but one that comes to mind, one that's real exciting, is probably the first time I went bear hunting. I went to Ontario, Canada, and I was by myself. And so I really didn't know what to expect. You know, I've never been to Canada before. This was back in, I think, 99 or 2000. Didn't know what to expect. So the guide puts me up in a tree stand, tells me to wait out there till it's dark. The big bears come out right before dark, right? That's what they tell you. So never known how dark it gets, or, you know, never really put two and two together about bears and feeding. So I'm in a stand, and it's starting to get dark, and I can see down, you know, to the barrel, but you can't really see that well. So I figured, well, you know, he said to stay in here till it's dark, you know. So I stay in there till I'm dark, and when I finally get down, I can still see the barrel, I can still see the bait, the trails, and when I finally get down, the underbrush, all of a sudden it's just pitch black. Dark, can't see your hand in front of your face. And being up there by myself, first time ever, you know, it made me a little nervous. So that was pretty hair-raising, heart-pounding, and all these things run through your brain about, you know, bears out there, and we're feeding them, and I'm right there by the bait. So that was pretty exciting. First time I ever been up to Canada by myself. I think law enforcement enjoy hunting because I think it relates to each other in a way. I think when you're out working the streets, you're anticipating something, and when it happens, you get that adrenaline running. And I think the same thing is hunting. You know, you might be hiking the mountains, or just sitting in your tree stand anticipating for something to happen. And when that moment happens, when you see that big game, or, you know, you work all day to hump them mountains or wherever you're at, and you finally see a game, well, it's an adrenaline rush. So I think it correlates with each other.